The mirror principle reveals a profound truth that can transform our lives at the deepest level. Unlike strategies that demand immediate action, this principle highlights the power of inner alignment. We'll also explore the concept from quantum physics about how consciousness can influence the universe. According to the traditional Newtonian worldview, which emphasizes separate entities, people are seen as existing in a physical realm governed by specific laws like gravity and thermodynamics. This perspective portrays the universe as an autonomous, detached system. For instance, the pursuit of becoming a millionaire involves developing the mindset and behaviors typical of successful entrepreneurs long before external success becomes visible. This inner transformation not only shapes our perception but also lays a solid foundation for meaningful changes in our external circumstances. Embracing the mirror principle supports lasting personal growth and paves the way for long-term fulfillment and achievement. Without it, you'll keep searching for external solutions, overlooking the essential truth that real change begins within. The principle emphasizes that without internal transformation, external conditions remain unchanged. That's the essence of the mirror principle. Once you grasp this understanding, every endeavor can lead to positive outcomes, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and success. However, this requires facing your own inner demons, your reflection, and words that may be uncomfortable to hear. If you're truly ready for significant change, this video is for you. In it, I'll also share a powerful exercise that I still practice today. So today, we're going to uncover this principle and how it can reshape your life. Reality is a mirror reflecting your relationship with yourself and the world, or with reality itself. Your inner world and your outer world. What do I mean by that? Let's go back to the example, how to become a millionaire. If your relationship with money is such that you believe you can't earn it, that you don't know how to make it, then the mirror of reality will say, that's what you believe. So be it. Here's more evidence of why you're unable to earn money, and life will continue to present circumstances that reinforce your belief and the statement you've made. That's why I want you to remember this crucial point: the outer world is simply a reflection shaped by an image that is essentially another way of saying it's our inner world. If we take a closer look at the world around us, it becomes clear that most people are increasingly consumed by the chaos of the external world, absorbed in technology, social media, and the rush of daily life. Many of us have lost touch with our inner wisdom, the essence we once mastered. So let's explore 4 essential keys that will help you shape reality according to your desires. For example, when we study the law of attraction, it's often said that reality is a mirror, and we try to manipulate that mirror. The first fundamental key to the mirror principle is understanding that the mirror of reality reflects 2 things: your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world around you. In other words, what you see in the mirror of reality is a projection of how you perceive yourself and how you perceive the world. If you look at yourself and think you're not good enough, the mirror will simply reflect that belief. I'm not good enough. I can't do this because I'm not good enough, and the mirror will respond. You're not good enough. Here's more proof of why you're not good enough. The reflection is based on the messages you send to the mirror of reality. In a way, the mirror of reality is like a loyal friend who's always ready to confirm what you believe. So instead of trying to directly manipulate the reflected image, we need to learn how to transform the image we project in front of the mirror. It's similar to influencing someone. When we tell someone directly, "Don't do that," there's a high chance they'll do exactly what's forbidden. But if we choose to motivate and inspire by presenting compelling reasons to avoid certain actions and explaining the potential negative consequences, the person is more likely to listen and accept our influence. So our goal is to influence our world indirectly. The mirror of reality simply amplifies what you say. It will always reflect what you believe to be true in your mind, about yourself, your identity, and your worldview. Remember, this is one of the most important keys. Now the question is, how can we change this? How can we break the pattern and consciously choose what we want? You need to create your own identity and worldview, your own paradigm. I'll give you an example to help you understand how to build your identity. First, it's important to clearly define what you want in the long term, say, 10 years from now. In that final image, what do you do every day? What do you have that makes your life a continuous journey of discovery? And ask yourself, who am I now? What traits and characteristics do I possess when I achieve, have, and do all of that? This is crucial. Then think about your worldview. How do you perceive the world when you live in that reality? How do you see the world when you experience all of this? Take a moment to bring powerful affirmations to life. First, create a statement about your identity, how you see yourself. It could be something like, I am worthy, I am a magnet for abundance, because I carry the magical touch of an alchemist. Then create affirmations that match your vision of the world. For example, the world works in my favor. Everything happens at the right time and according to a divine plan. By committing to daily repetition and internalization of these affirmations, be ready to witness an incredible transformation. The reality you perceive, how you see the world, will begin to shift before your eyes. Even if what you want feels difficult today, that doesn't mean you won't achieve it tomorrow. Everything takes time, practice, and patience. So respect your timing, but don't let certain fears stop you from reaching greatness. So make sure to take time for this exercise. It has the power to completely revolutionize your life. Now let's move on to key number 2. You need to understand that the reflection we see in our physical world forms with a certain delay. Why? Here's why. In our inner world, we can instantly create an image just by closing our eyes and visualizing what we want. That's how it works in that dimension. But in the third dimension, the physical realm, everything takes time to manifest because of the inert nature of matter. Matter is dense and cannot break the laws of nature to make things appear instantly. This brings us to the next key. You must hold on to the belief you formed long enough for your desire to materialize. What does that mean? It means you need to stay true to the identity and worldview you've created until your goal manifests. Whoever you want to be, start by adopting the identity of someone who already is that person. Ask yourself how that person would act and maintain that identity long enough. When people begin to experience this, an interesting phenomenon occurs. They realize that life has ups and downs. They create a belief, an identity, expecting their goal to come true, but the result doesn't show up immediately. Then their mood starts to drop along with their faith. Now, when your mood hits its lowest point, suddenly the manifestation appears. However, when it shows up, it reflects your previous negative attitude with a delay. Then what manifests begins to deteriorate again, because it simply mirrors what you feel. So a kind of wave or cycle emerges in your life, and you can't escape it. You go through highs and lows, and they're unavoidable. The key is to always stay true to the identity and worldview you've created, because that's the most effective way to bring meaningful change into your life. Now let's move on to the next key, which I find extremely powerful and practice daily. You need to understand that the mirror of reality doesn't reflect the nature of your thoughts, but their distilled content. I'll explain what I mean shortly. Think about it. If you keep expressing dissatisfaction, but your dissatisfaction has specific content, like, I hate my dead-end job, I hate my boss, I hate my partner, I hate the bills I have to pay, the mirror doesn't reflect the hatred itself, but the specific subject of your hatred. For example, I hate bills. As a result, you get more bills. I hate my job. And more situations will arise that intensify your dissatisfaction with work. That's exactly how it works. The more you complain about what you don't have and don't want, the more it will reflect back into your life, giving you more reasons to confirm your worldview and identity. This is the fundamental difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. It's simply a matter of seeing the glass as half full instead of half empty. The key to applying this in your life is simple. Focus on what you want and what you already have. For any change to happen, you need to start focusing on what you already have right now. Everything you've achieved, the progress you've made, the beautiful family you have, everything you desire in life, just pause and ask yourself, what do I truly want? What would make my life a real journey of discovery? What does that look like? What does it feel like? It might be a vague image at first, but as long as you stay focused on what you want, the gap between your current life and your desired life begins to shrink, because you start pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. So that's key number 3. Now let's move on to key number 4. And last but not least, the mirror cycle. This will change everything forever, because once you learn to manage this mirror cycle yourself, you'll stop feeling uncertain about your actions. You'll literally see reality shifting before your eyes. It all starts with observation. So, what outdated attitude have you held in the past? All the complaints, the negative experiences, or unconscious choices you've made, that's the present moment. When you look at the present and face things like bills or a job you dislike, you observe it and use it to shape your image or attitude. When I say image, I mean the internal mindset, thoughts, and emotions we present to the mirror. When we form an image, the mirror has no choice but to reflect it. So it reflects and shapes reality based on the projected image. But here's what usually happens. Most people look at their reflection again and get stuck in the cycle. It's a trap of habit that most people fall into. They observe and get caught in a pattern, eventually thinking, damn, this keeps happening over and over. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Then they try different tactics and strategies. They try business strategies. They attempt to launch a new venture, but it doesn't work. It seems to work for a while, it excites them, but then they fall back into the same pattern simply because they haven't made internal changes. But I want you to remember something very important. This happens because there's no fundamental shift in worldview and identity. So the way to change this is to reverse the process. Most people start with observation, then form an image, and then get a reflection. That's the standard cycle for puppets. But if you want to become a co-creator, a true creator of your reality, you need to flip that cycle. I say this because I've lived through it for many years. But when I truly understood the cycle, everything changed. To break the vicious loop, we start with the image we want to create. We turn away from reflection. We turn away from focusing on our current reality. Because we begin to understand that what surrounds us now was shaped only by past decisions. You need to realize this, otherwise, nothing will change. If I want to shape the future, I consciously choose today. So we start with the image. We choose the image and say, hey, this is what I want, and this is what I have. The mirror has no choice. How do we get it to reflect that image in small doses, little by little? Even small changes will happen slowly, with delay. So what do we do next? Instead of observing, we affirm. We look into the mirror to see what's working. And when we see the reflection, we think, oh, this is working, look, it happened. If you want more confidence, over time you'll notice people greeting you more warmly. If you wanted to improve some aspect of your job or business, you'll see things starting to go better. Your entire world might be falling apart, but you stay focused only on the things you want to affirm, the things that align with the worldview and identity you've chosen to create. The idea is to keep doing this consistently. And the more you do it, the more it evolves into something far beyond anything you ever imagined. If you start applying these principles, your life will completely transform. This is real. I've used it myself, and it truly worked. That's why I'm passing it on to you. At the beginning of my spiritual journey, I thought it was nonsense. But when I saw the results, it was mind-blowing. What I wanted started coming to me, even beyond what I had envisioned. As we dive into the depths of the mirror of reality, we uncover an inner power we often overlook. What we see around us is actually an echo of our beliefs, identity, and worldview. But the secret to transformation lies in shifting from merely observing reality to actively shaping our destiny based on the image of who we want to be and what we want to achieve. When we form this new image, the mirror of reality responds with subtle changes, slowly transforming. The mirror of reality has no limits. It only responds to what we offer it. Like an alchemist turning lead into gold, we can reshape our lives by adopting an abundance mindset, focusing on what we have and what we desire. Ultimately, our journey through the mirror of reality is a quest for truth within ourselves and a celebration of our ability to create, innovate, and transcend. I hope this knowledge becomes a flame that guides you along your path, helping you build the reality of your dreams. Just as we've explored the principles of the mirror, the video now moves on to show how your mind shapes the universe. Consider the possibility that the universe depends on your existence. The traditional Newtonian worldview, which emphasizes separate entities, suggests that people exist in a physical world governed by specific laws like gravity and thermodynamics, portraying the universe as a separate, autonomous system. But the rise of quantum physics challenges that perspective. Although this shift is relatively new in scientific discourse, it echoes ancient spiritual teachings. Hermes Trismegistus, a sage of antiquity, taught that, as above, so below, as below, so above. This implies that our world is like a holographic matrix, a reflective surface that mirrors the consciousness projected onto it. Quantum physics aligns with this ancient wisdom, suggesting that reality isn't a separate construct but is shaped by the observer's consciousness. In this realm of thought, where quantum physics embraces the concept of a multiverse and infinite timelines, your perception can significantly influence how reality manifests. Neville Goddard, in his work Thinking in Four Dimensions, proposes that the fourth dimension serves as the source of our three-dimensional existence, containing an infinite range of life possibilities, like endless world lines. Similarly, Dr. Joe Dispenza emphasizes the existence of an infinite field within quantum physics, filled with potential outcomes for our lives. This limitless quantum field, or the all, echoes the ancient teachings of Hermes Trismegistus as described in the Kybalion. It's a realm where every imaginable life outcome already exists. This leads to a key question: what determines the specific timeline we experience? Neville Goddard rightly states, assume your desire is fulfilled and look to the root. Your attention follows time, a construct limited by our three-dimensional reality, which holds no real influence in this context. Dr. Joe Dispenza adds that our thoughts are directly linked to our level of health in these higher dimensions. Everything you could potentially become already exists as a reality beyond the linear constraints of time. As we perceive it, you exist in this specific, limited life within a defined timeline. But what determines this particular path among countless possibilities in the fourth dimension? This question signals the gradual decline of the traditional Newtonian model, giving way to a shift toward unified consciousness. The quantum field responds to the consciousness it interacts with, shaped by thoughts, emotions, and your overall state of being. In essence, the reality or timeline you experience is a manifestation of your state of being, your thoughts, and your emotions. Your self-perception is reflected back to you by the universe. Just as a mirror can't reflect a smile unless you smile first, the universe responds in the same way. The reflection depends entirely on what you offer. When you smile, the mirror shows a smiling face. Likewise, the encompassing essence, whether you call it God, Source, or the quantum field, reflects your inner state, by design of the All. The purpose of creation is to journey through infinite, unique experiences stretching to the edges of eternity. The All, the omnipresent force, respects your freedom of choice, seeing it as an essential part of enjoying the richness of life's adventures. Neville Goddard, a proponent of this idea, puts it this way. Everyone is free to create their world as they wish, if they understand that all of it responds to them. This dependence on your unique consciousness fuels the expansion of everything. Your ability to choose is always present. By smiling into the infinite mirror, you initiate a response, though with a delay, as expected in our three-dimensional linear world. Events must unfold in sequence to reflect the change. Still, the mirror will eventually display what you project, because in the fourth dimension, that projection is already reality. Persistence in your self-concept compels the mirror to align. Without a will of its own, the mirror ensures the authenticity of the shared experience. Everyone seeks to understand what it means to be you in this moment, and that understanding would be compromised if the mirror imposed its own will. Infinity willingly embraced limitation in order to truly experience your existence. It relies on you and your current state as a reference point for its experiential choices. In essence, you and the all are one. Yet in this world, we are covered by a veil of forgetfulness to create a truly authentic experience. Imagine voluntarily subjecting yourself to a form of self-induced amnesia to play a virtual reality game, aiming to have the most genuine experience possible. In the game, when you take a hit, it feels real, as if the events are truly happening. But if you knew it was just a game, your fear for your virtual life would diminish, knowing that your true self directly influences what is reflected back to you. If we act chaotically, the mirror will reflect a chaotic image. It cannot simultaneously portray us as successful and fulfilled. The mirror simply reflects the essence of our actions and state of being. The pursuit of freedom often clashes with the feeling of being constrained or limited by circumstances. This struggle can become a catalyst for deeper understanding of oneself and the world, influenced by the teachings of Neville Goddard and similar thinkers. They suggest that obstacles and challenges in life may not be the result of an external, selectively benevolent deity. Instead, they propose that these are reflections of a person's inner state and consciousness. The mirror metaphor is especially fitting in this context. The image one sees in the mirror is a direct result of what is presented before it. If someone stands before the mirror with a mindset of limitation and entrapment, the reflection will show stagnation and restriction. However, a shift in perspective that embraces freedom and limitless possibility can radically change that image. The world, in response to this changed worldview, begins to reveal opportunities and joys that once seemed invisible. This transformation echoes the story from Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell, where a man overlooks the wealth of his own land while chasing fortune elsewhere, only to later discover that what he sought was always within reach. This dynamic is beautifully expressed in the inspiring words of William Ernest Henley in his poem Invictus: "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." These lines eloquently capture the profound impact of individual will and perception on shaping life experience. When a person consciously adopts a stance of abundance and fulfillment, even before it manifests in reality, a subtle yet powerful alignment occurs in the universe or quantum field. As consciousness shifts, external circumstances begin to change. Moreover, this concept goes beyond mere positive thinking. It's an exploration of deeper layers of being and the power of the subconscious. The subconscious, like fertile soil, receives the seeds of thought planted within it and transforms them into reality. A central principle in many spiritual and philosophical teachings is that external reality is a direct reflection of internal thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Thus, the outer world serves not only as a mirror reflecting the current state of being, but also as a canvas for the future, constantly painted with the possibilities of what could be, based on inner dialogue and held beliefs. All aspects of existence are deeply interconnected in this interaction between the inner and outer realms. To realize your desires, whether freedom, joy, or fulfillment, you must first go within to understand and reshape your inner world. That's all for today. We've reached the end of this video, and I sincerely hope these insights have been helpful to you. Remember, you're an important part of this channel, so if this video made you reflect or taught you something, leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments so more people can discover the power of wisdom. If you're not sure what to comment, just write, "I am wise," to let me know you made it to the end. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do it. Remember, every small step matters on the path of personal growth. Keep moving forward toward victory. Thank you for watching.